Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm casting love from the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles, California. And this is your Monday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my mission is to stand in my heart and help other people into theirs. This webisode is for Monday, February 22nd, 2016, and today the great human walk has reached step 3, Pisces. Hello, my friends. Namaste. I am live from the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles, California. I've been here for the last 3 days, networking with other light walkers and viewers. First, let me say thank you to all the viewers that came out for our Los Angeles Love Fest on Saturday. We had a fabulous time. We had the whole little hotel to ourselves, and I was able to go around and talk to everyone intimately. It was really wonderful. It's so nice, too, to hear really how this show helps people. I sometimes take it for granted, to be honest. So I'm really, it puts me in my place. I'm very humble, and I'm very grateful to be of soul service. And let me tell you, I've said this to a lot of people in person, so I'll just say it on the air right now. It's like, if I didn't commit myself to standing up and helping you, I myself would be lost at times too. We need each other, So I'm grateful for all the viewers and grateful for everyone in LA. And it's really a powerful spiritual time. Couldn't be more perfect. We're in Pisces now. Pisces is the I sense state of awareness, or step 7 in the 11 steps to serious joy. So about 7 steps in, we check in with spirit and make sure everything's okay. Today, the Great Human Walk has reached step 3, Pisces, and that means we're going to be opening our minds to new possibilities. But it's a double whammy. We're already blessed today with the full moon. So it's going to be full moon mania as we open up to new spiritual possibilities. But before I dive into all of that, let's first take a look at today's vibe. Today's vibe is sunny and quite loony, in my opinion. I think everyone's going to feel just a little loony. This is a difficult full moon, friends, and that's because it's a full moon in Virgo. Virgo is the most nitpicky sign there is. And the full moon is when we are just not comfortable. So put the two together, and you got yourself kind of like a prom nightmare, right? It's a possibility. Now, I'm not trying to predict doom. I'm actually giving you permission to feel like shift. I'm saying it's okay. It's okay you don't care about anything. It's okay that you're over everything. That is a full moon in Virgo. And I think we should all take a moment to be compassionate to the Virgos. If that's how Virgos feel, God bless your souls. Right? Like, God bless your souls. So today, my heart is curious, and I'm open to new ideas. That's because step 3 rules the day. So this is a very curious step, especially in Pisces. Curiosity did kill the cat, so be careful. In a full moon, this is one of those days where maybe you shouldn't stick your finger in a light socket or whatever. But curiosity is getting us to step out of what we're always nitpicky about. That's kind of the whole point, I think, of the architecture. The way I feel is emotional, nitpicky, overcritical. These are all of the feelings of a moon in Virgo, okay? And so a moon in Virgo, we're going to talk about this in today's vibe, about the nature of step 11, but basically needs twice the emotional nurturing as the average person. So everyone today, if you normally give yourself 1 lump of sugar, I give yourself 2 lumps today. I give yourself the extra dose because the moon is super nitpicky. Now, I'm open to receiving the perfect belonging. Thank Goddess. Venus is at step 6, her master step in Aquarius. So believe it or not, this full moon is kind of attuned to one thing, finding the perfect belonging. And the Pisces and the Virgo is all the energies between spirit and reality. So I think we're shedding off all that extra energy, but we're aiming for the perfect belonging. What I'm thinking about is integrity, so everyone will be obsessed with integrity today, and I'll talk about that in today's vibe, but Mercury is at step 11, so my mind is obsessed with perfection, and I am pushing for the right spiritual boundaries. Mars is at step 25. So everyone's trying to lay down the right boundaries that's best for their soul today. And that's good considering the full moon and considering Pisces. So to wrap it up, I think our joy quest today is super simple with this full moon. Let it go and let it flow. All right? Let it go and let it flow. I don't care what you're upset about. I don't care that you've had enough. It doesn't matter that this is the umpteenth time. In this particular moon, I really recommend you just let it go. You give everyone a pardon. Everyone gets a free day. It's like a snow day, okay? Forget it. Everyone gets off and just let it go, not care about it. Because we've got bigger, more spiritual things to get to. And this full moon is actually just clearing lower level stuff so that we can do the real work. So whatever this isn't even it. Let's let it all go, let it flow, and see where we end up. So without further ado, why don't we move on to today's topic here live from the Conscious Life Expo and talk about how to deal with this full moon in Virgo. Today's topic is Chiron, the wounded healer. And this is actually the ruling planet Chiron of Virgo. And I bring it up because really this is a Virgo-esque day. The moon is full in Virgo, and we're really dealing with Virgo. And even though we're in Pisces, and this is a Pisces month, today is all about Virgo. And I really think because it's a full moon, it's all about what we call the wounded healer. Now, I've been studying astrology for a long time, as you well know, and past lives are a big part of our consciousness that I'm starting to recognize because they set in play the issues that the spirit came down to work on. And Chiron, in your natal chart, for those who study astrology, will tell you basically where you have a past life wound that is destined to be healed in this life. That's the cool thing about Chiron. Saturn, you may not actually heal. You may have Black Lilith and never face that woman. But Chiron, you will actually heal. And I'm seeing people in Chiron returns. A lot of my clients are having Chiron returns. And I am seeing intangible evidence, yes, upon Chiron return, the client is healed. But what's interesting is, before you do your Chiron return and before you completely heal, Chiron poses basically what we call the wounded healer syndrome, all right? And it represents in a past life where you were extremely wounded, completely fell out of integrity, all right? And as a result, you have a shadow or a chip on your shoulder in this life because of it. So the wounded healer came up a lot. I did a healing this weekend. I'll talk more about it. But because we've been wounded in past lives, we carry this subconscious humiliation and chip on our shoulder. And oftentimes, this personality will come out to represent us and bring this ugly side out in us, right? And then we're like, what the hell what was that? And then we feel ashamed. And this whole cycle of being triggered and having an ugly part of us come out, and then we're ashamed and we put it back. This is the wounded healer of Chiron. Because the soul is wounded and feeling bad about it. And what happens is they end up, through law of attraction, attracting a similar memory, something that reminds them of the actual humiliation. Then they bring the worst part of themselves out to deal with it. And then you feel bad and you go through the guilt, and that just sets you up to do it all over again. Now, I bring this up because a lot of people, I think, are actually going to face their wounds in this full moon and get rid of them, and that's because of the nature of the planets coming up this month. We have a solar eclipse in Pisces. We have a lunar eclipse in Aries. And so God has a lot of healing planned this month. So I really think a lot of people are going to be facing their wounded healer. So let's start with the 5 o'clock question to kind of like, if you don't have your chart, so you can understand maybe where your wounded healer is, because it comes out in interesting ways. Here's the first question. Question 1. What is your biggest pet peeve in life? What is your biggest pet peeve? And the follow-up, when that pet peeve happens, how do you respond to it? How do you respond to your pet peeve? So I'll share with you what my pet peeve is. My pet peeve is pretty much Donald Trump. I'm not kidding. I cannot stand people that talk shit without any backup, no evidence, just talk and want power for power's sake. That just drives me nuts. I don't know what it is. I have to calm myself down. It's the biggest pet peeve. And I do, like, Sensei to Serious Joy becomes serious asshole and wants to run over there and interject. And I have to hold myself back. And then I feel like a jackass afterwards. So totally my pet peeve is people that talk shit. How do I respond to it? Well, in the old days, I would get in arguments with those people. I would want to fight with them. I would want to prove them wrong. I would want to, and my ego would get all caught up in it. And honestly, they would never give up their side. I would never give up mine. It went nowhere, right? But the pet peeve still triggers. I mean, with Donald, actually, to be honest with you, Donald actually is not triggering me too much. But I will say I've yelled at the TV about 5 times. Like, God damn, you fucking idiot. So now here's what it all comes down to. It turns out that this is a pet peeve of mine because it's part of my wounded healer. I have Chiron in Aries, which means that I have a wound from a past life where I was a Donald Trump, that I went too far with my ego and thinking that I was always, the one that knows everything, and I humiliated myself. Now, the other aspect of it for people who know astrology is my Chiron in Aries is in the 9th house, which means it has to do with belief structure. In other words, I was probably a Donald Trump talking about stuff I didn't really know, and I was bullshitting all the time. So as a result, I can't stand to see myself in a past life. It makes me sick every time I see myself talking like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And I'm bringing this up with you because I think, a lot of people with this full moon will be triggered on your pet peeve issue. You will be triggered with one of the things from your past life. And what I want to invite you to do as a response is to not fall into the old pattern this time, but instead observe, observe what pisses you off and ask yourself, maybe was that me? Am I pissed because this was possibly me in a past life? Now, I will share with you one more thing here about Chirons, and is that they are meant to be overcome. They are meant to be healed in entirety. And I have to say that I think I was out of integrity in a past life. I think I was pushing a religion that wasn't true. And I think I feel bad about it. And so that's one of the reasons why this is the wounded healer. I've been wounded, and now I've turned that into healing for everyone else. And I think that's the medicine for everyone, is that if you have a pet peeve of Donald Trump, of someone being arrogant, it's because you've come here to fix that situation in life, and it's probably because you were once that problem on Earth. And because you were living that, and you're not that anymore, it makes you very qualified to be the one to say, Donald, you're wrong. I know because I was you in the last life. Which isn't going to work with him in logic. So be open, my friends, to what comes up the next 3 days. We have step 3 ruling today in the full moon. So that means that we're going to open up. But step 4 rules tonight, which means there's going to be our first wave of Pisces breakdown and breakthrough. So whatever we let go of, we are meant to come in front of some sort of wound of ours and let it go and let it flow forever. And if it is one that really pisses you off, try that technique and see if it helps you let it go. All right, let's take a look at today's planets in the Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. So believe it or not, at this Conscious Life Expo, there are so many psychics and so many people who are intuitive that it's almost impossible to not be connected to spirit. In fact, I almost got sick a couple of times. Seriously, it's like there's so much energy. One of my friends, Justine came, and she's a psychic, and she came in, she's like, I can't take the energy, and she left. She was gone right away. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself 3 breaths, but I might be picking up on a lot of stuff when I do. But remember, our little game is to see what planet Spirit wants us to focus on, and a lot of people are getting it right, so see if you can today. It's actually interesting, I haven't gone into spirit out here, other than giving people readings. But it was very peaceful. Spirit came right in very clearly, even though there's all this chaos around. So let me give you an affirmation for the day, and then we'll talk about the planets This one is designed to help you let it go and let it flow here in the full moon, and it kind of rhymes with some of the ones I've done before. So I kind of build on these memories, so we have almost like sing-song kind of like memories in our head that we can just go to. Today I hereby reject and relieve all aspects that do not agree, and so it is. Today I hereby reject and relieve all aspects that do not agree, and so it is. And literally that's what's happening today. We've been working hard, I'll show you with the planets, but we've been building a meality with Jupiter and Virgo, and a lot of us has built these mealities. Everything was growing really fast in September, but we didn't necessarily grow what worked best for us. We were just excited that things are growing. And now we have all these ugly sandcastles that we don't want, and it's time to stomp them down and let ourselves build something new, right? And the only way to do this, in my opinion, is that we need to really, in Pisces, that's what this Pisces energy is about. Pisces allows us to reject. If you've ever been rejected by a Pisces, you know exactly how it feels. They're here, and then they just turn around and leave, right? So Pisces allows us to reject and relieve things, to let it go and let it flow. And this ability to let go is powerful. I mean, as you well know, if you have pain, if you have issues, letting go of it for good is the biggest trick. All right, so today I hereby reject and relieve all aspects that do not agree. And so it is, because I said so. I thought so. So let's take a look at the planets, and we're going to have to do a little graphic here to bring it over, because it's hard to get all of our equipment in here. The first thing that comes up is, let's look at the sun. The sun is at step 3 in Pisces today, and the most important thing I want to point out is that it's about to conjunct Neptune. So in essence, this full moon is an opposition between the sun and the moon with the earth in the center. And what we're going to do with the full moon is we're going to release that full moon of emotion. It gets all full and we release it is what ends up happening. So it's really a flush of emotion, right? Now what happens with that is, to me, it's all the heavy dead weight that is on our life. So this full moon in Virgo, is your ability to just like let go of the stuff that's been bugging you and not care about it anymore, period. Just let it go, right? But because the sun is in orb to Neptune, literally Neptune is kind of the hot air. Neptune is our satellite of Pisces. It's the ruling planet of Pisces. It's the vortex to God creator energy. So literally when you dump all of your baggage in Virgo, as soon as it goes, I'm predicting people are going to shoot up into spirit and connect to that Neptune. So it's almost like you cut the dead weight and the hot air balloon goes firing up. Now it's my opinion is that hot air balloon going up, so to speak, that image, and connecting and conjuncting to Neptune, that really is the breakdown that happens in breakthrough in step 4 tomorrow. So when we break down and break through, really the breakthrough is whatever you see when you finally let go of the baggage. If you have breakdown, it's because you're resisting letting go of whatever's holding you back. And you got to trust that you cut it, see what happens, turn your back on it and see what happens, see where Creator takes you. You're in good hands, in my opinion. Now, looking at the bottom here of the moon, it's kind of interesting. We're going to do this zigzag stuff. So first we have this full moon. The moon happens full at step 3. So step 3, the moon's full. Then the moon goes right into step 4 and there's breakdown. So anyone in my text message service, I've already programmed in serious me alerts when it hits 4, because the full moon might be at 3, but it's the fan at 4. So people let go of their baggage and they drop. Then the sun skyrockets up, like I said, towards Neptune for the next 4 days. But the moon then, after it's cleared all the lower baggage, will cross Jupiter tomorrow. Now we'll talk about that really in tomorrow's show. But I want you to see the big picture of what's going to happen here. You drop dead weight, you go high up, then the moon hits Jupiter, and what that means is emotionally we repopulate and get pregnant what we want to keep on Earth. So it's kind of like drop the Earth, go up to God, come back to Earth, replant, and go back to God. Like it's a zigzag, very much like Linus's shirt in Snoopy. Remember that? So how do we handle all of this? You just let it all go. You just let it all go to God, and you see where your emotions are going to shift to at the end. Now, one more thing I want to point out is Mercury. Mercury is at step 11, and Mercury is at step 11 Aquarius. By the way, I had a viewer that asked me to please give astrological citations. I so will. Mercury's at step 11 Aquarius. And what's interesting is it's conjuncting Pallas in Aquarius. So I mentioned this in the open, that we're all obsessed with integrity today of where we belong. That's pretty much what's happening here. But what's interesting is the fact that it's conjuncting Pallas, because it basically says to me as an astrologer, hey, in your mind, go ahead and build a whole big arena around your integrity of where you belong. And that's pretty much the rope I think we hold on to as we're letting go of baggage and we're floating up towards God. We hold on to the rope of our integrity. I know I belong here. I know I belong here. Everything else can go and flow. I just know I belong here. Okay? So we want to stay on that. Now, finally, and the last thing I want to bring up is the planet that Spirit brought up, and that was Saturn. So if you guessed Saturn, you got it. Saturn came very, very strong. Saturn is at step 15 Sagittarius today. And what that tells, and it's been at step 15 Sagittarius, but that tells me that we're making decisions about what we believe, and these beliefs are peaceful beliefs. 15 is peace. So what Spirit was showing me when I went in just in the meditation was, really people have to, when they hold on to that integrity, basically Creator is saying, decide right there that this is what you believe in, that your peace is this integrity, and make that decision. So basically, it's really a change of mind that allows you to let go of the weight, that allows you to go up towards Spirit, that allows you to allow your feelings to get pregnant in the new reality. It's really a peace of mind. It's a decision of the mind. The mind is going to be what controls it. All right. Well, friends, I have recorded some awesome interviews with some people. I recorded people around that just kind of gravitated towards me, and I'll be releasing these videos this week from the Conscious Life Expo. Watch them. Whatever you're drawn to, you should. One person with chemtrails. We were talking about another person who wrote a book. Literally, she's cracked the code on easy connection to your intuition. Another person came up with this awesome chakra deck that pulled the right card for me right there on camera. So definitely take a look and see. It's me out there in the world bringing the light to you if you couldn't be there. And do remember to stop on my website and say hello. I'm at soulgarden.tv. Until then, thank you to everyone who came up to my booth, people who made the journey. Someone flew in from Seattle. So I am so grateful and honored, and it's such a pleasure to be of soul service to all of you. Thank you for coming up. I'll be back on the air tomorrow, and until then, remember, I love you, and live, love, be.